The first article that we're going to read today is titled Influential Feminist, Civil Rights Icon, Dorothy Height, featured on her own postage stamp. This article was featured in the Washington Post and was written by Colby Itkowitz. Dorothy Height was a civil rights and women's rights activist. Her work focused on improving opportunities for African American women. Height spent most of her adult life advocating for racial and gender equality. Though she never became a household name, Height is remembered as perhaps the most influential woman of the civil rights era. Many civil rights leaders turned to Dorothy for advice on their work. She would carefully listen to everyone's concerns and offer her opinion and advice. She's noted as being the only woman at the table. Not only was she helpful in civil rights, but she was greatly valued in general politics. It is reported that Presidents Eleanor Roosevelt, Dwight D. Eisenhower, and Lyndon B. Johnson often sought her counsel as well. Many people consider Dorothy a bridge between the underrepresented and those in power. In 1963, Height was one of the organizers for the famous March on Washington. She stood close to Martin Luther King Jr. when he delivered his I Have a Dream speech. In fact, you can spot her in many photographs taken of Martin Luther King Jr. that day. While most of her work was done behind the scenes, it is reported that Dorothy was upset that the March on Washington did not feature a speaker on women's rights. Dorothy received many awards later in her life. In 1994, she was presented the Presidential Medal of Freedom. After President Bill Clinton gave Dorothy the award, he described her as one of the world's most tireless and accomplished advocates of civil rights and the rights of women. Dorothy may not be highlighted as greatly as Martin Luther King Jr., but her work also made great changes. Dorothy is quoted as saying, "Progress comes from caring more about what needs to be done than about who gets the credit." She did not care about the fame that came from her work. She cared about the equality of African Americans and the equal rights of women. Dorothy passed away in 2010 at the age of 98.